By cracking PSA slabs and sending them off to CGC, I've turned $5,000 worth of Pokemon cards into $15,000 worth of Pokemon cards. This is absolutely insane and by far my best submission yet, possibly the greatest thing I've ever done. Let's go over each card and at the end we'll give myself a letter grade to see how we did. This is a good one, so sit down, relax, and enjoy. All right, let's get right to it. First up in this submission is Gengar Legend Maker Holo. Gengar's in the middle of a dance move. He's doing a little twirl. Looks like he's in a tree or a bush or something, probably hiding, waiting to scare an unsuspecting child because that's what he does. He's a terrifyingly scary Pokemon. Maybe he'll put a curse on you. I don't know. It's Gengar. He likes curses. I got this one in a PSA 8. My guess was that it was going to be a 9.5. I thought it looked incredible. CGC gave this card a 9. This card has been going up, so I think there's a bit of a value gain, so that's cool. Wish it was a 10, but what can you do? Okay, there's better cards ahead, so that's fine. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, it's Raichu Fossil Holo First Edition. He's just waving, saying hi, doing a little leg kick. Hello! This card I got in a PSA 9. My guess was that it was going to be a 10. Again, I thought it looked pretty nice for a 9. I got it for a really good value at the time, so I can't complain about that. CGC decided to give this card a 9. So from a 9 to a 9, not great. Last one sold was around 175, so hopefully about breaking even on it. So that's okay. 2 cards to start off the submission that didn't go too well, but don't worry, okay? There's good news ahead. Here we have Pikachu Black Star Promo EX Series Collector Tin from 2003. This card is pretty rare. You don't really see it very often, but it's fantastic. He's like in the middle of doing a Thunderbolt move or some kind of electric move to decimate his opponents. I love it. I got this one in a PSA 9. My guess was that it was going to be a 10. Let me tell you, CGC did not disappoint. They gave this card a pristine 10. Incredible card, incredible value gain. We're off to a bang in this submission. Just the 3rd card in, and we're already making a really nice profit. And I'll tell you what, little spoiler alert, this isn't even the best profit card in the whole video, but we'll get there eventually. Pikachu! I don't know why, but I really truly love this card. Skarmory is one of my favorites. I probably say that about a lot of Pokemon. I got this one in a PSA 8. My guess was that it was going to be a 9. There's a nice little swirl underneath Skarmory's long, big-ass beak, which is always nice. CGC gave this card a 9.5, so I'm pleasantly surprised by this grade bump here. That's 1.5. That's fantastic. It was kind of hard to put a value on it, so I stuck it around 200 for now, but I'm not really quite sure. You know, CGC is tough to value cards sometimes, especially if the volume like these cards are pretty low. But I think that's a pretty fair assessment, and I'm really happy about this. Here we have Mewtwo EX from Ruby and Sapphire. Mewtwo, it seems like in almost every card, at least a lot of the vintage cards, he's kind of generating an aura sphere or some kind of sphere of some sort about to decimate his opponent. It's just kind of like his thing. Okay, let's move past it. It's Mewtwo. He's very strong and powerful. I got this one in a PSA 8. My guess was that it was a 9.5. Now, this is one of the cards, again, that I didn't really realize all the holo scratching until after the fact. I'm a bit more keen to that now. In this case, it wasn't really that good of a purchase because CGC gave it an 8.5. Not great. Gonna lose a little bit of money here because a half grade bump, usually from PSA to CGC, net you a bit of a loss. But that's okay. You know, again, you can't win them all. Let's just move on to the next card. Heracross Neo Genesis First Edition Holo. This card I got in a PSA 8. I've had this card plenty of times in my submissions. I think it's fantastic. I love it. As you can see, there's definitely a bit of holo scratching, but I swear it looks worse on the scan, which a lot of these scratches do. You hold it in person, it doesn't look too bad. So my guess was that it was going to get a 10. Yeah, if I had a re-guess looking at the scan a little bit better, I probably would have guessed lower, but it is what it is. I'm kind of an idiot sometimes, but that's okay. CGC gave this card a 9, so 1 grade bump, can't complain. Tiny little value gain, so that's fine. Woohoo! All right, here we have the same card, Heracross Neo Genesis First Edition. This one I also got in a PSA 8, and as you can tell, there's a little bit less holo scratching. You can still see some, but it looks a bit cleaner. My guess was that it was also gonna get a 10. Hey, maybe this time I'm right, okay? I just guessed both of them would get a 10. Maybe I'm delusional, I don't know. But CGC gave it a 10. Fantastic. So it looks like, you know, you can get away with a bit of holo scratching. Again, it looks a lot lot nicer in person. It doesn't have to be a perfect card to get a CGC 10. We know that. That's why Pristine 10s exist. This submission's going great. Let's see if we can keep this up. The 8th card in the submission is Togetic Neogenesis First Edition Holo. This is my second PSA 9 that I've cracked, trying to get a CGC 10. The first one got an 8.5, which is not great. So I kind of had low hopes for this, but I still guessed that it was going to get a 10 because it looked so nice to me. But what do I know? Because as you know, I make mistakes all the time. What can I say? I'm human. It happens. CGC gave this card a 10. That's another Neogenesis card and a 10 that I've acquired now, which is awesome. I just love how angelic Togetic looks. Beautiful. Up next, we have Feraligatr Neogenesis First Edition Holo. This one I got in a PSA 7. Now, PSA 7s are a very risky crack. Most of them do not grade that much higher because there's usually some kind of surface issue that you can't see on the scan. My guess was that it was going to get a 9. I felt fairly confident about it. CGC decided to give this card a 9, so I'm correct. So even though it didn't get a 10, that's okay. I like when I can guess cards correctly. I'm almost as happy as the Dancy Boy himself, Feraligatr.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my honey. Ah!
Up next, we have Slowking Neogenesis First Edition Holo. This one I got in a PSA 8. My guess was that it was going to get a 10. A little bit of holo scratching, but I thought it could get a 10. CGC gave it a 9. And this is one of those cards where if it was a 10, we would see huge value bumps. You know, again, it is what it is. It's still a bit of a value gain, so that's fine. I think there's a potential world that if you sent it in again, it might get a 10 if you get a little bit lucky, because the holo scratching is not really too bad. That's all right. Let's move on to the next card. All right, here we have Misdreavus. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if that's incorrect. Neo Revelation First Edition Holo. Now, there's two distinct print lines, I believe they are, or some kind of scratches on the holo. So my guess was that it was going to get a 9.5. CGC gave it a 9. Well, okay. Hoping there's the break even on it. It is what it is. So that's 3 cards in a row where I got 9s, hoping for a little bit better, but that's okay. You know, let's go on to the next one. Kabutops and Neo Discovery First Edition Holo. This one I got in a PSA 8. This card is so incredibly cool. I could only wish to be this cool. Look at this guy. He's got his long, bony claws. He's amazing. And this is one of those cards where I looked at the scan, I looked at it after cracking, and I'm like, I am so confident this is a 10. And CGC agreed and gave it a 10. Fantastic. As much as I really like this card, I am going to sell it because I don't need it, okay? I don't need it, okay? I'll be fine. I just have to sell it, close my eyes, move on. Up next, we have Dark Charizard Team Rocket Holo. Love the card. Love the way he's looking over his shoulder like he's, you know, trying to escape his past. I got this one in a PSA 8. My guess was that it was going to get a 9.5. CGC gave it a 9.5 exactly. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. That's not a bad value gain right there. A little value bump, a little gray bump. Can't complain. Fantastic. This submission, it's going pretty good, but just wait. It's going to elevate to new heights soon, okay? I promise. Okay, up next is the most confusing card of the submission for me, and I'll tell you why in a bit. This is Dark Alakazam Team Rocket First Edition Holo. My guess was that it was going to be a 9.5. I couldn't see really anything wrong with it for the most part. So when CGC decided to give it an 8.5, I was left like, huh? What? I have no idea. And I even looked at it some more. I put a black light over it, looking all over the whole card. I'm sure there's something I missed. Who am I to question the great authority and wisdom of CGC? I'm just going to, you know, hopefully break even on it and just move on. But I do wish he had more spoons to hold. Only 2? Come on, you need at least 3 to 4 spoons to do anything effective. All right, I want to see you juggling 8 to 10 spoons at once. Then I'll be impressed, Alakazam, okay? But for now, get out of here. Oh, man. Oh, look. Okay, Alakazam, how you doing at least a little bit something different with the spoons? It seems like you're conducting electricity through them like old Benjamin Franklin himself.
With these spoons, I will generate infinite electricity for all kind.
Wow, what a generous sacrifice, Alakazam. Thank you so much. This is Sabrina's Alakazam Gym Challenge First Edition Holo. This one I got in a PSA 9. Got it for an insanely good value. I was super happy when I bought it. My guess was that it was going to get a 10. And here's where it gets great, okay? CGC gave it a Pristine 10. That's the second Pristine 10 of this submission. Valuing Pristine 10s can be kind of hard. Okay, for the Pikachu card earlier, I just put it at the last PSA 10 sale, but it can can differ kind of wildly. So for this one, I'd put it around PSA 10 price, but again, I could be a bit off on the price. I'm not really quite sure. I'll probably end up listing it higher because while the group of people who want CGC Pristines are probably smaller than PSA 10s, usually you can get a pretty good premium for them. It really depends. So I don't know. Who knows? I don't know anything. But what I do know is that I'm very excited about this card. The card is beautiful. I'm going to have a hard time getting rid of it because I love it so much. It's fantastic. I'm elated. What a great profit on this card. This submission is going fantastic. The 16th card in this submission is the most expensive card in this submission. Cost me around $800 to acquire in a PSA 8 is Charizard base set holo. This is the iconic Charizard card. My guess for this card was that it was going to get a 9.5 and CGC gave it a 10, which is now the best card in this whole submission. And I even got 2 Pristines. This is crazy. This has elevated my submission to new heights. When I saw the submission results online, I nearly fainted. I needed some smelling salts just to regain consciousness because I just could not believe my eyes. Another thing about this card too is that I put the value at around 4,000, but it's really hard to price this accurately because the last one sold was 4,600. A PSA 10 just sold for quite a bit more than its previous sold. So honestly, CGC values could start ramping up a little bit too, but it tends to lag behind PSA price. This is still around like 25% of a PSA 10, which so I think there's a bit of room for this card to grow a bit more. So I think 4,000 is still kind of low, but that's where I put it at for now. Here we have Mewtwo base set shadowless holo. Iconic Mewtwo alien looking guy. This one I got in a PSA 8. My guess was that it was going to get a 9. Interesting thing here is you look at the centering. I ran it through the centering tool app. Fantastic app, by the way. I highly recommend using it. Anyway, the centering was slightly off, okay? And sometimes you can get lucky and get good grades from centering. I don't even know PSA 10s that have 60-40 centering or around there, okay? But I still took the risk. CGC ended up giving it a 10. Amazing. Fantastic. I am just on a streak of luck here with this submission. Another card with $1,000 gain or more. That's the 4th card in this submission with $1,000 gain or more. That's actually insanity. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm just speechless, okay? Let's move on. Gyarados base set shadowless. I'm a big fan of the shadowless base set. I think it's really cool, unique cards. I got this one in a PSA 8, and my guess was that it was going to be a 9.5. CGC gave this card a 9, so a little bit less than I was hoping. Not much else to say about this card, as maybe there's like a dot near Gyarados' mouth that could have been a blemish. I'm not really quite sure exactly what's wrong with it. And this submission has gone so well that I can't be upset at all over this. This is fine. Now, let's talk about upset. You take one look at Gyarados and just look away because that man is mad. Okay, the second to last card in this submission is the Dragonite Japanese Game Boy promo. I'm not quite sure why CGC calls it the unnumbered promo when it has a number 149 down below. If someone knows in the comments, someone intelligent, smart, knows where that comes from, let me know because I have no idea. Anyway, I got this one in a PSA 9. My guess was that it was going to get a 10. CGC gave this card a pristine 10. That's the 3rd pristine 10 card in this submission, which I did not think would ever be possible. So the market value for this Dragonite Game Boy promo is kind of hard to figure out. I had a guy message me on eBay saying that I listed it for too low, and at the time I listed it for about $2,200 because apparently he bought this listing but in a private sale for $4,000, which to me seems insane. So I actually reached out to the seller to confirm that the person bought the card for them. They actually said that they bought the card for $4.3 thousand. So this was an offline sale, I guess, confirmed, but unfortunately for me, it doesn't really affect the market at all. So people will probably still value it around a PSA 10 price, but that's the way it is, I guess. Okay, we have Dark Dragonite Legendary Collection Reverse Holo. This one I got in a PSA 7. And let me just say, this is probably the last time I will buy a PSA 7 Legendary Collection, no matter how good the back of the card looks. So this one, when I cracked it out, was just full of scratches all over the front of the card, which is really hard to tell from the scan. You've had a scratching post that in your living room where in your windows left open and you have like a dozen feral cats relentlessly scratching it day after day for 17 years. That's what this card looked like. It was scratched to pieces, pretty much. So my guess was that it was going to get an 8.5, and CGC gave it an 8. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I'll take it. Not a great way to end the best submission of all time. Getting the Legendary Collection reverse holos are very risky, especially in a low grade. So hey, I learned something from that, right? All right, let's go over the final results. My total cost for this submission was almost $5,100. That includes acquiring all the cards, shipping and insuring and grading the cards. Now, if all my guesses were true, my total value would be $12,440. But my real value from all these cards is $15,500. Insane profit of $10,400. I've tripled my money. I've done it. I'm going to give myself the ultimate grade. I'm giving myself an S+ because I don't think I'm going to top this anytime soon. It's fantastic. I'm elated. I'm going to go jump for joy. I'm probably, I'm going to buy myself a cake, okay? I'm just going to shove my face in a cake and eat it because I'm so happy. Look forward to more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Okay, bye.